Comes the pass off. Quick, get in your last tank meme. Still talking. You're all awful.
Synderen always looks like he's slightly confused by what's going on. Like he doesn't understand how he got here.
You were gonna repeat that for the mainstream?
No, that's rude. Chobra wanted me to flame though.
And thank you so much to the beautiful panel. We don't know a word of what they said, but I'm sure it was full of excellent analysis. You guys got Capitalist and Blitz casting this Empire versus EG 2-game series.
So if you want to switch now, now that you've heard that Cap's casting this game.
What? Get out of here. All right, you're actually the worst. I hate you.
The LDN gods are over on stream number 2. So if you want to just hop over.
You can just leave. You can go ahead and go back to BTS. It's fine.
Man, that was not what hyped people up. You should not have put your name first.
Oh, wow.
You should just try to convince people that it's not you.
What?
Like Blitz and I. So there's some confusion.
So I should try and fake an Australian accent? Is that what you're saying?
No, dude, you don't even have to. Come on, man.
Anyway, it's EG versus Empire. This should be a pretty hype series. Just hoping that Empire able to step up their game a little bit, because so far their group stage performance has been a bit disappointing. Sort of the annual Empire flop.
Don't say that. That sounds harsh. It's more like. I mean, I've been trying to theorize what it is. They're picking the heroes that they were really successful with. For people that don't know, this is their last 3 LAN results as I know it. They got second at the, what is that thing called? The Mars TV Land of Secret.
Yep.
They got first at D2CL. They got first at MLG. And the first over at MLG was over EG. And the first at D2CL was over Vici. So it's not even like the competition was bad or anything like that. And they stomped too. Like,
yep. They looked super, super good. But it's just, you know, kind of every single year, the organization, the team that is Empire, just always seems to fall a little flat when it comes to TI. But I have my faith for this year. I'm sure they're going to make a comeback. Starting things off here, we've got Yoki offlaner Shaker facing up against a Fear Anti-Mage and a PPD Winter Wyvern. Mid, Resolution playing the SF, Sumail on the Queen of Pain. And then we've got the offlane Universe, which... Offlane Bounty Hunter, played by Universe. You talked about it a little bit in the draft. You're not really a fan of the Bounty Hunter, but at the same time, the Bounty Hunter isn't very likely to be punished as a solo offlaner here.
Yeah, and I think you want AUI to play a slightly greedier hero or one that has better big play potential. Like, there's no Rubik on the other team from Aloha Dance or anything like that, so the hero should be pretty strong. And you needed a mech carrier, more importantly. If you look at Empire's lineup, they have a lot of burst, but they don't actually have follow-up sustain. Like, Storm is one of those heroes that will use all of his mana early and then struggle to put out more damage. So it's really important that you have the mech to back you up, because then you have the turnaround potential.
Oh, there it is, Sumail. He picks up the early kill on Resolution. Standing things up, man. Now he jumps up to level 4 already by 2 minutes. Resolution's already like down and out by the 2-minute mark.
Did we catch that?
SF, like he managed to make some comments.
We didn't see that coming. That's the second Sumail solo kill in as many games. Like, he solo killed CTY, so the Resolution and CTY both top tier biz players.
Sumail just knows how to put out the pressure early.
Yeah, and I'm just surprised because usually at this level you don't see very many solo kills happen, so don't blame Cap or Griff for missing that.
I caught it on my game.
Did you? I just really didn't expect that to happen. Like, I thought if anything, a kill was going to happen, it'd be here at this top lane, but Sumail, I mean, he's been playing so well this entire tournament. He might even go for another one right now. Resolution's dipping real low.
Sumail, last couple of right clicks there, sends the illusions after the SF as well. Of course, now the SF is always a hero that can make the comeback from a bad lane thanks to his incredible farming potential, especially on the Radiant side, but dying so early is maybe just a bit too much. He's going to pass off a health potion and try and do a little bit of bottle crowing very early on. Yoki's not doing too bad as our offlane Earthshaker. He's actually managed to pick up level 3. Earthshakers, generally speaking, is just an offlaner that you can't really do that much in order to ensure that you get experience if they control the lane really well. But then again, he's only facing up against a Winter Wyvern. AUI is spending obviously all of his time jungling as the Enigma, and and he's actually doing really well. He's about to pick up level 5 before the 4-minute marker, so.
Yeah, and the Earthshaker is rotated in mid now. I think he's hoping that Sumail overextends or is hard committed, because the Shadow Fiend plus Earthshaker combo is pretty iconic. It's really strong. You get both the offense and defense potential, but it does mean that Yoki's sitting on top of here. He really wants Sumail to jump, but Sumail, I think, is waiting for, at minimum, his ultimate to be up, and he's waiting for his bottle, so he's going to be a little bit disappointed with how this goes. And AUI is already rotating for the rune, but the Earthshaker should be there in position. Grabs a haste, but it shouldn't lead to anything. And
yeah, not much you can really do with that, especially since Sumail knows that the haste is there. Meanwhile, at our bottom lane, we are doing a lot of pulling. They did manage to throw down both counter wards in order to take away the block ward from EG, and they're trying to get that Night Stalker early experience so he can actually be an effective hero. He picks up his level 3 now, so he's got the Void ready to go.
Oh,
he just doesn't have the silence.
He's going for it right now. This was so smart of him.
Wow, Yoki! We said that he was actually playing probably the best on Empire, and we're seeing exactly why. That was just an incredible heads-up play. An Earthshaker roaming around with that haste rune to actually pick off the courier, enchant totem, being exactly what he needed to be able to pick up that kill. And that takes away the bottle.
Yeah, he pre-prepped the enchant totem because he saw that Sumail was bottle crowing in vision, and then he just waits, and he times it perfectly so it refreshes. He gets both hits off on it, and this is actually going to help Resolution out so much. And Sumail, who was dominating previously, is just going to get slowed down because Shadow Fiend, like you said, he's just going to farm out this jungle. And that first death bothers you a lot, but more that it helps the Queen of Pain than it hurts the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. As you can see, Resolution's already going to be jumping up and catching up with Sumail when it comes to experience. And the Dazzle actually came down and over to be able to help stack up that hard camp a little bit because they don't really need to help out Silent. He would much prefer to have the solo levels, and it's a bounty hunter after all. I mean, once they manage to kind of keep him pushed back and keep Universe scared, moving too far forward and trying to harass the Storm Spirit down, they've kind of already won the lane for Storm. Especially since he probably won't feel so much harassment, and then we'll pick up his level 6, and then he just doesn't care.
Yeah, the Storm's doing a good job right now keeping up in CS. He actually has much more than the Anti-Mage does, which is a little surprising, but it is a bit harder to CS with AM since you don't have the flash arm mechanic that Stormsphere does, but...
Oh, Yoki, right, they're actually going to pop the black hole for him. Sumail makes the blink over. Perfect use of the black hole in this sort of situation. You're not going to get a better opportunity. Like 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, AUI actually plays one of the more formulaic Enigmas. Like when he hits level 6, he almost instantly pops his ultimate every single time.
Right.
He's not the type of player that waits to use it. It's like, I think in his mind it's, if the black hole is up, especially in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, why not just use it to get a secured kill?
Right. Universe is going to soak some of the experience from Resolution, who's still farming up some of these neutrals. I doubt they're going to have the opportunity to go for the kill because Always Wanna Fly is actually sitting in the middle lane, recovering that experience. So if Queen of Pain tried to make a rotation over with the Bounty Hunter to gank that SF, they would be sorely disappointed by a heal and Shallow Grave.
Man, that courier snipe is having such a big impact on the game right now because AUI almost has his mag. Sumail, he had treads. He could have been able to dive the Shadow Fiend pretty safely, but now as it stands, Resolution is pretty much unassailable in this mid lane, and he's catching up pretty rapidly to the Queen of Pain. So Sumail, yes, he has the lead still, but when it comes to net worth, he could have been even further ahead than he is right now.
Resolution probably goes for the early mech right on the SF in order to deal with the mech on Enigma, just to kind of even out that advantage.
Yeah, it's also just because you don't want to be going for Yule Scepter in this game, I think. It doesn't really do too much for you. You want to be able to deal through the burst that EG has. Right. You need something to cut through the Queen of Pain ultimate.
Yoki, he's kind of moving around. He's just not having too many opportunities at this top lane anymore, especially with Fear about to pick up his level 8. He now has that Mana Void to throw out. He's going to be going for the early Battle Fear, not terribly surprising. He's not going Treads first because he's just feeling no pressure whatsoever and doesn't even have an offlaner to try and push up against. So he looks like he's just going to go raw Battle Fury.
I think we talked about this the other day too, is that or earlier in the draft I mean, is when you're playing against an Anti-Mage, you need to get as big of a lead as possible over the Stormsphere because there's going to be a weird timing where Storm is really good against your hero, and then it drops off again once the Anti-Mage gets 2 or 3 slotted, where the Storm pretty much can't engage unless he sees the Anti-Mage. So it's really important that Fear gets about as good of a start as he possibly can.
And it all comes down to that Manta, right? Which is both the defensive and offensive pressure on the Storm Sphere. It deals with the Orchid, but also obviously allows you to burst through his mana real quickly.
It is a little bit on Empire to try to pressure off Fear, because there's not a whole lot of counters to Fear late game. Like I just said, the Storm Spirit isn't great against him, because the turnaround potential of the Mana Void is insane.
Right.
The Night Stalker will eventually fall off. The Silence is cute early game, but it does drop off once you have a Manta or a BKB. Same with the Earthshaker, the magic damage isn't going to do much. Dazzle's one of the weaker offensive heroes. And the Shadow Fiend, you don't want to be in a position where you're getting kited by an AM, so...
Too bad Universe isn't level 6. They're still going to go for this kill, though. AY just eats through the trees real quickly. Silent is going to come over, but it's 4 heroes, so Aloha Dance is 100% dead. This does give the level 6 over to Universe, but now the Black Hole's laid out. They managed to kill the Bounty Hunter. Silent is still very much alive, especially with Always Wanna Fly making his way over. He's ready for the Shallow Grave. That means Silent probably feels very healthy to move forward and go for AY. And now they're going to chase away the rest of the heroes as well. PPD actually feels brave enough to throw out one of his nukes. Samael is forced to a blink back there. And all around, that was a great reaction from Empire.
Yeah, the Dazzle just waited back. Always Wanna Fly was in position, but he wanted to make absolute sure that the play he was making was a guaranteed save. So he waits for the storm to get initiated on, and that's the second black hole of the game used.
Radiant's
and
middle tower
no
is
result.
under attack.
I think that was a pretty significant investment by EG just to kill a Night Stalker, because you lose your Enigma, who has a lot more net worth and is on his way to a pretty fast mechanism. So now you slow down the safe lane push that they originally wanted to go for at the same time.
Yoki is still getting some farm here and there versus the Anti-Mage. I like the build-up of the Soul Ring and Tranquil Boots, particularly against an AM who you don't want to be stacking. You just don't want to be relying on the mana from Arcane Boots. It's just not good enough. So you can afford to set it just basically no mana, Soul Ring, instantly Fissure. You'll get a little bit of CS here and there, but you'll also not leave yourself without any way to recover that mana versus an Anti-Mage. It would just naturally keep you low all the time if you win Arcanes.
Yeah, I don't think many Earthshakers go Arcanes anymore anyways.
Yeah.
It's just this is the safer one.
I think it's only if you do really well as an offlane Earthshaker that you should go Arcanes.
Yeah, I actually see Bottle more than I see Arcanes nowadays. I think some of the Chinese teams run it, and I like it a little bit more, but...
I felt like the pickup a lot, especially since Earthshaker is one of the few heroes who has an impact as a roamer early on from the offlane position. Like Spirit Breaker and Tusk can also do it, but Earthshaker, he can like always go to the offlane rune and put pressure potentially on the middle lane at the same time.
So Storm's going to go for the Bloodstone here, and he's got so much farm. I think the correct move is for them to actually kind of pressure. It's about to hit nighttime. If you just head up to this top lane, you've got a mech completed on your Shadow Fiend, and you want to force the AM to go to the jungle at this point in the game, because it's really inefficient for him to farm the jungles, and he's not going to go to the off lane in case of the pressure. So EG is responding by sending bottom.
Aloha Dance is dead. They blow him up nice and quick. Samael just makes that TP. They get a track kill. And actually bring Samael pretty close to the Yule Scepter.
Yeah, he really likes his build. And if you pay attention to Empire's heroes, it's really going to be hard for them to lock him down when he's got that Yule Scepter, because it almost refreshes the blink cooldown timing, but Empire's going to get this tier 1 for free. There's almost no chance that EG want to defend this. That glyph is just to use the glyph.
And this is pretty important. Like, first as a Bounty Hunter, you need to try and stay grouped up, not only because Bounty Hunter is not a terribly strong teamfight hero early on, but also because you just naturally are going to be looking for pickoffs when you have that track available. So I like the fact that they grouped up in the top lane. Obviously, Aloha Dance got picked, but it's still just a support for now.
Dire's top tower
they just can't let that happen too many
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Right now, EG, they're farming at the enemy jungle. This is the trade-off, is that you give up your tier 1 but get to farm the jungle, but something that's really scary right now is Empire's hitting the sick timing where they've got the levels that they need on the heroes that they need.
Middle tower is
and
under
Resolution has a mech. He's also got an Ogre Club, and they pop the Dust.
Nice. Silent's actually going to go for PPD. They turn on Universe instead.
Bottom tower is
A
under
higher
attack.
priority kill, to be sure, and it seemed like the easier one anyway. So the tier 1 tower, Evil Geniuses are not able to fight them at all. They are just going to have to give up tower after tower in exchange for more farming time.
Yeah, there's almost no chance that AUI is going to get a
Dire's
reliable
middle
black
tower
hole.
Are they going to
has
be able
fallen.
to defend this tower? Looks like it. Resolution comes forward pretty confident that he'll be able to clear through these. Gets the deny
Radiant's
as
bottom
well.
tower
That was a
has been
pretty
denied.
big, like no hero died there, but that was a pretty big like network swing for not a single hero going down. They take the middle tower, they deny the bottom one, and they even like clean up a bunch of creeps and eidolons.
Yeah, right now Empire are moving really well as a team. They're not really giving up anything that they have to, and their team is getting really farmed. Yoki's almost got his Blink Dagger. He's reasonably close to it. They still have one more tier 1 tower to go, and they're gonna apply pressure to it sooner than later with the mech. As long as they have that mech on the Shadow Fiend and they know that the Enigma's behind in farm, then they can just continue to pressure around the map.
It is midnight in Dota time. Aloha Dance. Perfect time for them to be able to gank up Fear.
They know Fear's there now too.
With the smoke, they realize, okay, the smoke is popped. They see Fear. They're going to make the jump in, grab him, silence him up. They chain the stuns a little bit too much. Perhaps Fear is still going to go down, though. It's just too much damage out from a Storm Spirit.
That was so crucial. They actually did, like you said, stack up the stuns, but they do manage to get it at the end. But if that hadn't succeeded, they would have been really disappointed. But by applying pressure onto the Anti-Mage like that, it means that Resolution is going to feel really free to continue pushing this mid lane. And EG don't have the best way to deal with him once he gets his BKB, which he's incredibly close to.
Now, he is not going for the Orchid build that you kind of wanted to see on the Storm Spirit. He is going to be going for the Bloodstone instead. What does that kind of tell you, the difference between the two items?
I think it kind of speaks to the fact that Empire is comfortable against this Anti-Mage because they know that he's not going to get a Battle Fury Manta pretty soon. And I think they realize that EG don't want to get into straight 5v5 fights. You don't want to bring the Anti-Mage this early on into the game, into the mix, because you just need him to split farm, split push, but I mean, we talked about it. If Anti-Mage farms in a vacuum, you expect to see 13-minute threads.
Yeah, 13-minute, like I would say the old timing that I still remember from Dota 1 is average timing is 13-minute Battle Fury, no treads. With treads, it's 15 minutes. You can get it faster than that, but that's kind of like the average pro time.
Yeah, so it's important that they were able to get that. And PPD has his Winter's Curse. They're hoping that Aloha Dance isn't the first target, and Silent, he's got to just run away.
Oh, that's perfectly fine, I think, for Empire.
They're
Like, once
so
again,
Dire's
they
bottom
sacrificed
tower is
Aloha
under
Dance.
attack.
That would have been a huge play if they'd gotten Silent. But Silent now will be able to complete his Bloodstone because he didn't get picked off.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If he had gotten killed there, what is that? Another 2 minutes tacked onto that Bloodstone timing?
Dire's bottom
And
tower
obviously,
has
the
fallen.
earlier you get that Bloodstone, you could start snowballing that. Now he feels very confident, just aggressively cutting the creep wave in middle. As Resolution also took that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. That tower actually gave them 2 significant items. Completes the Bloodstone and completes the BKB.
If you're playing as pretty much any mobile hero that struggles to stay alive, if you're wondering how Silent's able to just roll into the middle of that creep wave and do what he just did, is all you have to pay attention to is where the Winter Wyvern is. Because if you're taking a look at AG's lineup, the only thing that's going to disable you for any amount of time that'll actually get you killed is the Winter's Curse. There's no instant stuns or anything.
Which is exactly why PPD is trying to go through the trees in order to get that surprise initiation. If they got him, Silent will end up going down here. He did complete his Bloodstone. He already bought the recipe a while ago. It just didn't get out to him. So that's actually kind of perfect timing, right? You complete the Bloodstone, but you didn't have it in your inventory to lose those charges.
Yeah, that was really well played by EG, setting up for that. He thought that he had vision of where PPD was, but PPD, it's a surprise. You never see the Arctic Burn coming in. Fear, we were a little bit concerned about this farm, but that's really cool. AUI was tanking it using the Cold Embrace.
And that just gave Fear free area just to be able to get into those right clicks. And now they kind of separate the damage between multiple heroes because they also have the mech. So they actually completely cleared through that ancient stack. They did it as a team, but it was still Fear who got most of the bounty, even if he had to split the experience.
Yeah. Oftentimes you'll see the Anti-Mage go for the Vlads just so he can do the ancient stacks in the jungles more reliably by himself, but against a Storm and a Night Stalker, I think it's just necessary to get the Manta as fast as possible.
He saw always want to fly. And do they actually know that there's wards here? Doesn't look like it. Bottom lane, Resolution threatened a little bit. He does have the BKB and 10 magic stick charges, so I'm sure he's going to be fine.
Yeah, he was kind of hoping that maybe Queen of Pain could force him to get his BKB, but Resolution felt pretty confident. His team was nearby him too.
Now there's a double damage. The bottom there, they're going to save that for resolution. So he actually almost gets backed up to full HP.
Oh, this is another smoke by EG, and they really want to look for 1 or 2 pickoffs because they know that Empire is playing a little bit too aggressively, and they're split pushing a lot because they're really confident that they're corner unkillable. Silent requires the winner's curse, but he's not going to see this coming, and Universe actually knows that he's there, but he has to
he's
run
already
away.
killed the camp, so he just will naturally start retreating unless he goes to the side
huge.
shop. PPD trying to get in range of that one. They're not going to get it. There's no way. There was no surprise factor there anymore once he got himself into the lane.
Yeah.
So they don't even go for it. They also had the opportunity to go for Yoki in the middle lane. He was farming up his Zero Shaker, but the problem is he has his Blink Dagger, so they don't really care about his farm progression too much. So smoke on him is kind of like a smoke kill on Aloha Dance.
Radiant
at that point. It's
structures
not
are
really worth it.
fortified.
It was so huge that they could have, if they could have gotten Silent, that might have meant a kill
Dire's
into a tower and
structures
PPD.
are fortified.
I mean, he's firing spells off, but he knows he's in vision.
Dire's
Empire just
bottom
looking for the
tower
trade. They're
is
okay
under
if this
attack.
tier 2 tower goes down, but
Radiant's
I
middle
don't think
tower
EG want
is
to
under
overcommit
attack.
because they know that Yoki has that blink dagger.
Dire's
If he didn't have that
bottom
blink dagger,
tower
maybe
is
they can
fallen.
just all in commit for
Radiant's
it,
top
but
tower
as a
has
result,
been
they have to just
denied.
let it get denied, be satisfied with that. But I like that EG is still not overcommitting. They understand that they've got a lot of different ways to close the distance. And it's
Radiant's
not even like
middle
they're very
tower
far
is
behind.
under attack.
1k gold when you have a bounty hunter on your team and an anti-mage who will naturally outfarm everybody is not a deficit.
Yeah, but time goes on. Eventually, the Anti-Mage will step over the SF's net forward. And then if there's a team fight that goes wrong for Empire, then EG just massively get ahead with the bounty gold. So just time in general is fine for evil geniuses. That you can just sit back, wait patiently for Empire to make a mistake, or maybe play too passive and
middle
not
tower is under
objective-based
attack.
enough. And EG will retake the advantage. But for now, I'm sure they also feel a little bit of pressure as Empire have been playing very well so far. Very few mistakes, I would say, from Empire.
Dire's middle
Really
tower
great
is under
coordination,
attack.
and their strategy has been on point.
Yeah, this is a really clean-cut game by both teams. Nobody's really making any overt
Radiant's
mistakes.
top tower is under attack.
Empire's going to be the aggressor here. They've
Dire's
got a blink
middle
dagger up on
tower is under
resolution. They
attack.
want to try to look for these fights right now. He might actually
They're
be
trying
too
to
far.
force this one, but it's for the Echo Slam, I think, but they just burst down the Stormseer too quickly. They could
Dire's
actually get
middle
the shallow
tower
break.
has
Smail
fallen.
actually hit by the Fissure. Silenced up
Radiant's
as
top
well,
tower
but
is under attack.
that felt like just a little bit of a bad read from Empire. I think they were really trying to bait it out for the Echo Slam, but I think EG also read that and we're just like, we'll just try and pop him really quickly from a distance and immediately back out. And that's exactly what happens.
Silent is really overestimating his tankiness. He's got 8 armor and 1400 HP, but Sumail's nukes and the Midnight Pulse are enough to take that down so quickly. And he's just not respecting the amount of damage that EG can put out. And I think they're going to go for the Roshan here, because they feel pretty confident now that the Storm has lost a lot of Bloodstone charges that he probably is going to be a little bit more tentative. So EG being able to pick up the Vegas, get it on either Universe or here, setting a really good
Taking them a while though. I mean, at this rate, they're actually going to be dropping rather low. It's down to about a third HP. Silent is about to show himself. AUI does have his black hole though, so if he wants to try and go it, nope, Silent doesn't look like they actually realize.
That was weird. There was almost like AUI was on a lid. Actually just go for the rune and die here. Or
It's a little bit of distance, has to jump away from AUI, who is rapidly closing that gap.
Fear go for this? He knows that he doesn't have any mana. He's catching up really quickly.
Yep, he's Silent. He's going to be able to stop it here. The ultimate's going to come out almost enough. Aloha Dance is waiting for his opportunity to silence up Fear. And there goes. Silent will actually be able to get out in just enough HP thanks to Strength Treads to be able to survive through that ultimate.
Concern right now for Empire is Enigma almost has his BKB. And
And
once
they
he
have
does,
nothing to stop it.
yeah, and EG, it's not even like they're behind at all, because the Anti-Mage just now farmed them, and Sumail even making an aggressive move. Maybe he just plays not to go for this.
Aloha Dance, he's got the TP out if necessary. He's got enough HP to be able to survive through the burst.
Resolution has built really heavily into the mid game. He's really invested into winning these fights early. So if you do that, go for the Blink Dagger, the BKB, the mech, no real damage items. you're hoping that you can get into these fights early enough where it can pay off, but EG is just frustrating them. They're running around the map, not really giving Empire any sort of openings.
Pick off maybe on Samael. Jump! No! Samael makes the blink out beforehand. They had resolution on the front lines, and Yoki actually tried to go for the Fissure rather than the blink Echo Slam first. That's a huge missed opportunity.
Fully completed Manta on the Anti-Mage. Gonna be so hard for Empire to lock him down for long
Dire's
enough.
top tower is under attack.
Damage to deal with
Radiant's
it, and
middle
EY
tower
picks
is
up a
falling.
tower and
Now try and jump on a Fear, managed to pull him back. He still has that Manta as well as the Aegis, so Empire not going to commit too heavily. He wants to try and take this one. They do manage to get the Winter's Curse onto Yoki, who will end up going down the Shallow Grave. Will actually keep him alive for a little bit longer. AY actually managed to get the two-man black hole. Samael with the ultimate over the top will finish off at least one resolution. Got off his BKB though, and will now drop the ultimate. Oh, and Samael managed to catch Yoki as well. Thought he was going to get out, but
the Courier too.
Courier goes down as well, and EG. It was looking a little bit rough in that first 20 minutes where Empire were really not making many mistakes, but they dropped one fight in that middle lane, and EG managed to take Roshan, get another fight now in the middle lane, and are in complete control of this game.
Yeah, and AUI's been playing so well this entire game. The amount of times that he's hit big black holes, he doesn't even hesitate. He walks in, pops the black hole, and then realizes always want to fly.
Middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, Shale and Grave, he's got the heal, so he should stay alive. Shadow Strike's actually highly leveled up. He needs to be able to get to the fountain. Yep, he's good.
But EG get a free tier 2, and I mean, they have so much map control now. Silence on progression is plummeted. 60-minute blood
Still trying to go back with the Orchid.
As an offlane Earthshaker player, how is this farm look? Is this about par for the course, or?
I would say for a game where you've managed to take almost all the tier 1s and almost all the tier 2s, Yoki is maybe even a little under-farmed. Like, Blink Dagger by, I would say, 18 minutes is nice. Force Staff by, like, 25. But if they just didn't have that many towers, I would say he was totally fine. But they've gotten, obviously, a lot of tower bounty. He's obviously died twice and hasn't picked up, like, not even an assist yet, so you can see why he's a bit under-farmed.
Yeah, they haven't been able to utilize him in fight. Silent though. Remember, 16-minute Bloodstone, 27 or 28
Radiant's
minute
bottom
Orchid.
tower is under
Bloodstone's a
attack.
significantly harder item to get.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tier 1 tower, Tier 2 tower, actually. Now, it looks like they actually want to defend
Dire's
their
top
bottom
tower is
tower
under
first.
attack.
Yoki's coming forward, but Universe is in a good position to be able to see this one. It's actually been thrown there because it's wrong Universe real quickly. Gets that kill, almost want to fly all the way out. Ultimate being popped on the hit, but he managed to get off the Shallow Grave, and now Fear is a bit far forward.
Radiant's
Obviously,
bottom tower
he
is
still
under
has
attack.
that Aegis, so they're unlikely to be able to lock him down. They just get a kill, actually. That's good ultimate from Samael. Now Resolution has to pop his ultimate, but he don't have the mana. He's just going to be run down by Fear. Silent to Yoki on the way out. Samael actually going to give the slow onto Yoki. Enchant Totem being placed onto Fear, but he's just going to commit to this kill. He knows that he cannot die. Actually, Winter's Curse on Silent. He's going to go down as well. It's going to be a total wide Empire. It's just a steady progression of worse and worse fights for them.
It started with that fight in mid where Silent definitely didn't want to die either of those times, playing a little bit too over-aggressive. The team fight from EG is a little bit too strong. They had to expend so much just to kill Universe, and it wasn't even worth it because EG, the turnaround potential is high. Fear is just punishing them by pushing everywhere at once. They don't have the damage to deal with him. He's got 4,200 gold, and they were struggling before when he only has a Manta as a defensive item. Wait till he gets maybe even a butterfly. How hard it's going to be to kill him. Or he's actually going to go for a heart.
Okay. I think I'm down with that. Just like raw HP.
What's going to kill him?
I mean, just naturally, he already does enough damage with Mana Break and Mana Void against these scores.
The Shadow Fiend is falling just further and further behind. Resolution needed some time to farm and catch up, but if you commit to this type of build, the mech and the Blink Dagger, you're looking for fights. This is not a farm build.
If it was, he would have foregone like the Blink Dagger for earlier Butterfly or something, right?
Yeah, even the Butterfly would have been really good for the type of lineup that we have, but it's just it's getting rough.
Silent Advice comes in from Samael, and they almost blow up Silent and manage to get the Shell Grave. You'll Scepter in order to stop that one. He still has enough time to ball lightning away. He'll survive. Keeping 2 Bloodstones with that checked. Always want to fly well. That's Shell Grave, and Fear actually still managed to pick up the kill on the Storm Fear. Now Aloha Dance is dead as well. 3 kills, Samael on a godlike spree. And Empire, I mean, they just were in such a great position at that 15-minute marker,
is under attack.
and it's just gone so horribly bad in the last 10 minutes.
They just weren't able to
Dire's
convert
bottom
the
tower
plays that
is
they
under
made.
attack.
When they picked off Fear, it was really
Radiant's
good.
middle
They were
tower
pushing
is
down
under
tier
attack.
1s. They were doing a good job of defending towers, but then Silent got too over-aggressive twice, and EG just punished them for it. And
Radiant's
Fear,
top
this is
tower
what he
is
does.
under
We don't talk about it nearly enough
Radiant's
because a lot of the
middle
focus is
tower has
centered on Sumail, and rightly so, but this team is just stacked 1
Dire's
5.
bottom
Sumail's
tower is
9-0
under
and 6.
attack.
Even in the losing effort last game, he was 9-1 6. Solo killed CTY twice in the first game. Manages to do it again against Resolution.
Radiant's
Doesn't
top
even have
tower
a
is
single
under
death against a
attack.
team with so many silences and disables.
I mean, that was supposed to be the advantage of the Night Stalker, right? Being able to shut down the Queen of Pain early via that silence. Just never happened.
EG are so comfortable right now. There's a Blink Dagger on AUI. All of their cores are starting to finally pick up some harm. Universe is a little bit poor, but I think he's just a utility bounty hunter. He doesn't even really care.
Yeah. Solar Crest for him. Blink Dagger. There's the Butterfly for our SF.
That could actually change things a lot. They get an ideal fight off, but they just don't have enough damage right now. Yoki has to hit another monster Echo Slam for them to even think about coming back into this game against the lineup.
Also seems like the SF might be better against the physical damage, but he still just doesn't have enough HP against things like Sonic Wave.
There's a Hex now on Sumail too. I think he had it in the previous fight, but
Yeah, he used it to pick off, starting that fight in middle. The Storm Spirit.
1 is the loneliest number. Oh, it doesn't warm my heart to see the 1 Bloodstone Charge Storm, but Empire's gonna fight that, so this is probably their best chance. Try to catch them unawares and see what they can down the Roche pit.
Yeah, especially Roshan up, a natural grouping mechanism. They could. I mean, Yoki has to make a big play here, but they're pretty grouped up. He's going to jump in, try to go for the Ankle Slam soon. They've already got PvD, locked out Universe. A couple of these heroes, AUI's fighting for the back, though. He's already popped his BKB. He doesn't actually have a Black Hole. Samael managed to get the blink away. Silent hoping to be able to catch up, but he just doesn't have the mana there. Fear's grasping these heroes with his illusions. They have to turn and focus that one down. Looks like all of Empire are going to try and get out of here, but Aloha Dance has been picked up. Oh, there goes the ultimate out for Fear. Already bringing out the SF. It's almost taking out Silent as well. Yoki throws out the Fissure, trying to stun both, but only hits AUI. And Yoki, well, he successfully TPs away, but it's 4 down on the side of Empire, while EG only dropping 2.
It's almost always just Universe that dies. They're struggling so hard to kill anybody else, and they do manage to get PPD, but still, it's 2 utility heroes. All the core survive. EY doesn't even have to expend the Black Hole to win that fight. And Empire, do they even have any buybacks for this upcoming push? No. There is 2 Bloodstone charges now on the Storm, which, I mean, you just gotta see the positive side. This is gonna be an Aegis for Fear. If you thought it was difficult to kill him before, I think they did like 500 damage to his overall HP last fight.
So Aegis.
Has
It is. I really thought he was tanky enough that he would just give it to Samael. Allow him to aggressively blink forward with his scythe every time.
Something that is a really underrated factor is how demoralizing that is. You're like, guys,
How
can we kill
even
AM?
Kill him once? Yeah. And this also means that they can just put Fear on the front lines. So right click down the tower. If they somehow manage to like actually catch him and finish him off, they only take away Aegis. Otherwise, he'll just back up, let the heart heal him up, you know, go back in again, rinse and repeat.
The good news is that Empire still have most of their buildings out. Like they haven't lost a set of racks. I mean, the difference in net worth though has been a steady climb down, and even in experience, it's even worse.
Butterfly and Sue going to be coming in for our Anti-Mage. He is hitting that kind of maxed out slot soon.
Here is so farmed. Net worth is almost double the carry of Empire's.
Rough. So Empire just got to sit back, farm it up. I mean, they have to try and push this as late as humanly possible because they know the AM's just going to get 6 allotted no matter what they do.
Alright, here we
Roll
go.
Dance. He's going to be the target here of a smoke gank from Evil Geniuses. Whereas before, they were like, we don't really want Aloha Dance for a smoke gank. Now it just doesn't even matter. Pickoff is a pickoff. Bounty kill is a bounty kill. And Evil Geniuses will now go ahead and try and push uphill with Fear.
EG's brutal, man.
Radiant's bottom tower.
They're so
is
far
under
ahead and they
attack.
still go for the smoke gank on a Aloha Dance. It's just all about the
Always want to fly, just disappears. That's a 2-punch.
Radiant's bottom barracks
Scream
are
of
under
Pain and
attack.
Sonic Wave just instantly kills our poor Castle.
Radiant
That'll be
structures
the
are
first
fortified.
laner Rax is looking like. I think they're just trying to wait out Aegis essentially. Now to jump in. Sight the fight. Silent just gone.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
Evil
under
Geniuses,
attack.
I like how they're just like
Radiant's
making
bottom
sure 100% there's just not a single chance of comeback. Like it's such a simple pickup, but they still pop the beat in the Queen of Pain. Use the ultimate out for Fear because with the Storm Fear gone, it just kind of ensures they'll get the second layer rocks. There's a buyback from him, but they're not going to try and use it. They just realize they cannot possibly fight EG, especially with an Aegis, so there's no point in using a buyback, especially when they have the tier 2 up still. And Hot Dance.
He's just fierce.
Now, and Fisher. So things down. They're going to try to pop the mail, but AY is there. And he's ready to go with Black Hole at any point in time. Silent needs to try and avoid that one. The Windows Script's actually controlling the nice link to the side for Resolution. Actually dodging that Black Hole, but Yoki will die on the left-hand side to Fear, who's going through support after support. Now they managed to finish up the Enigma, but Fear is still a massive problem. He's still trying to chase down always on the flying down Shellgrave up in a second, but just not up in time. Aloha Dance having to deal with the illusions of Fear, bringing him quite low. And now Fear himself comes forward. He's got that ultimate. Not afraid to use it on the support. Resolution. Low on mana now. Storm Fear jumps forward. Managed to get some mail with the Orchid. That's a huge amount of gold. 1,800 gold for Silent. But does it make a difference?
They just
Dire's
can't kill
top
Fear.
tower is
He's
under
got an
attack.
Aegis, a Butterfly. He's not even using his Manta. He's not even saving his ultimate for the Mana Void for the Storm Spirit. He just recognizes that he's pretty much unkillable at this point in the game. And EG, I mean, compared
Radiant's
to the
middle
top
tower
10
is under
in
attack.
the world, maybe they're not looking at it like this international, but EG just dominant when they want to be. Empire.
Very little mistakes in the first 15 minutes, but it only seems to take one against a team like Evil Geniuses. Take advantage of them.